Welcome back to WCS America Group H action. We are just 2 best of 3s away from knowing all 16 players that will qualify for the round of 16. And of course we are going to do the group drawing at the end of the day as well. Nate, I'm ready. XiGua is ready. Said Arthur is almost ready. Who do you think is going to take this one? Do you think it's going to be Arthur, or do you believe in the Chinese Zerg?
XiGua played really clean in his last series against Sen. Arthur, though, despite anything that we say about him, his attacks have been strong, they've been swift, and they have hit their mark. So this is going to be a scary match for either one of these players because when you look at the setup, you have the very strong player waiting for the loser of this series in Suppy. Both players are ready, though, so we're counting down. We're going to kick this series off on Overgrowth. Who do you like? I have no idea who's going to win this series.
You know, I've underestimated Arthur multiple times, and it's so silly because, like, I see these builds and those, Nate, with all due respect, those are builds that's like, I think I can do that. I think I can march across the map with a bunch of sentries and wipe in a bunch of gateway units and win. But then when you play against Zerg players that are that good, when you play against someone like Suppy, the majority of the time they just crush it. So there must be something special to what Arthur is doing. I'm not going to underestimate him, but I'm still going to go with my Chinese Zerg XiGua, because if you're able to defeat Liquid Hero when Heroes Tournament Live is on the line, and that is exactly what XiGua did in Season 1, then I believe that you are also able to defeat Arthur to qualify for the round of 16, but we will see.
Yes, we shall. And it all begins here with our first player in the bottom left position, the blue Zerg, representing Invictus Gaming. It is XiGua. Taking a nice win over Sen and his opponent, who defeated Suppy in the first match of the day. From Team Spectre, it is Arthur.
You know what's funny, Nate? That on the North American server, Arthur is set Arthur, but on Korea, he's not set Arthur, he's just Arthur.
I don't know the Korean word for sad.
But do you think that this means that playing on the North American server makes Arthur sad?
I don't know why it'd make a Protoss sad.
This is, I'm intrigued by the mystery behind said Arthur.
The name change metagame.
Exactly.
I'm surprised on Korea he doesn't have the same name as XiGua.
That's true too. See the gateway going down. It's going to be a 15 assimilator, or maybe a double assimilator, but nope, not the case just yet. XiGua not all that afraid of cannons, as he is going to drop the hatchery first on the low ground. He is sending out another drone. Wants to make sure that no probes are making their way through this little edge without actually being spotted by this hatchery, because before you know it, you have a bunch of cannons going up in the back of your hatch.
Yeah, never fun to have cannons in your base, that's for sure. So, just trying to be aware of what's going on. Oh, he's actually going to go straight. Well, there's that. He's going to go straight for a third hatch.
Wow, is he gonna? He's gonna. So XiGua is opening up a lot more economic than Suppy had. Of course, he can still follow this up with a speedling opening, and that is something that few Zerg players do. It's a little counterproductive because then you have all these bases, but you don't really have a whole lot of mineral income. If he opens all the way gasless, well, then he's truly laughing in the face of danger, and he's like, yeah, I know that you're Arthur, but I still think that I'm gonna be able to get out enough units in time to defend whatever you want to throw at me. We'll see. Of course, it is all possible, but it also depends on how Arthur likes to play this out. And I wouldn't be surprised if Arthur starts perhaps saving up some Chrono Boost energy and just goes absolutely crazy with whatever he has in mind. He's going to Chrono Boost as his first stock. So we'll see, Nate. It could actually be just a 4-gate opening, in all honesty.
You really no.
Yes, it could. It's like Jim versus Jaedong on Altazim. It's a double hedge before pool, and there is no gas. So if you 4-gate this, there's a realistic shot of it working. It's not guaranteed to work, and if you don't win the game, you pretty much straight up lose it. But I think that someone like Arthur could have definitely done it. But he's not going to do it, which is good news for us. It means that we might see a real game of StarCraft.
Perhaps. Wouldn't that be a treat? Overlord is killed by Arthur's Stalker, and Sentry on the way. So I keep thinking to myself whenever I watch Protoss versus Zerg, it's like, okay, gets a Sentry, Mothership Core, where's the tech? What tech does the Protoss go for? Rotterdam, Arthur hasn't shown us that he likes tech very much.
Arthur is not aware of this second page of buildings. His probe only has the first button.
Yeah, he unhotkeyed the advanced structure. He has to manually click. He's like, oh, I need an observer, hang on.
Perhaps that's why we see 3 additional gates being wiped in currently for Arthur, so this could be very similar to what he's shown us earlier today. It didn't work against Soppy on Overgrowth because I felt Soppy was doing almost everything right and had a good read on the strategy. XiGua up to this point, Nate, still has no extractors up and running. Someone has to, maybe Edison, maybe the Edison update got lost in translation, because normally I wouldn't recommend playing like this against a player like Arthur, but we'll see. Good, however, the scouting is excellent though by XiGua, and he's going to find this pylon in the right bottom side of this map, and he's going to find the probe as well.
Right as Warp Gate finishes too, he manages to kill this pylon.
He might get a surround on his little stalker, but now Arthur is aware of that.
Oh!
Slow Zerglings are slow.
That's scary, man.
Oh, does he? He still doesn't have any extractors. It's 6 minutes and 30 seconds into this game.
He's making 18 slow lings.
Wow.
All right. Wait, how those up? Did he really get? He actually managed to warp in a couple of
Yeah,
zealots.
he just wiped them in, because I guess that pylon didn't have that much surface area to be attacked. This is really strange by XiGua. Right now he's only at 22 drones. He made 18 slow links. He still has no extractors going down on any of his bases. Arthur is probably just as confused as we are.
Yeah, Stalker's gonna poke another couple lings.
You know, if he has 5 stalkers, he can just kite these slow links for days, and then he just kills all of them. Saves a force field.
No sentry left behind.
What the hell? Sickest force fields ever.
He's left our realm of space time. That's for sure.
That's so sick. I didn't even know that was possible. Protoss. It's beautiful.
Oh God, Philly's gonna get him from the low ground. All these units can shoot down this cliff. No, this other sentry does die. But the Mothership Core is also going to town. Hey,
but
robotics facility and more gas.
But this is not even good for XiGua, because he still has no extra. What is going on? It's 8 minutes in this game. Okay, he does have a whole lot of queens. Is he going to win this game with slow? He has more queens than Zerglings as we speak.
Oh man, more units
I mean,
coming
queens
in
are actually going to be very good against his army, don't get me wrong. Transfuse is pretty good. And with slow links, I think he will be able to push this back.
Yeah, not bad at all. Robotics facility is going to finish up reasonably soon. He's taking his extra gases, but...
Oh, we have extractors going down. The good old 840 double extractor with Roach Warren.
Is this the latest gas you've ever seen in ZVP?
Yes, I think so. Without the cannon shenanigans, this is probably the latest gas that I've ever seen in this matchup.
He's crazy. Look at all these slow links. Look at them.
The War Prism is going to be the follow-up for Arthur, and we still have a bunch of sentries on the map, so... You know, if history repeats itself, Arthur is going to pick up a couple of these sentries and is going to head straight to this ramp.
I didn't even notice he'd already walled off his
He's already checking it out with his Phoenix as well. He's like, all right, let's see. Is this possible? Yeah, that should be possible. Or it's just going to be an 8-gate. Yeah, 8-gate Prism. He doesn't have +1, though.
Drop the sentries, man. Drop them.
What? Whoa. Okay, he has a robo.
Yeah,
he's going to try. This is just Arthur is like... This is not my real
sentries
strat.
Like they're hot roddy, but there's a good amount of vision for XiGua to see this coming. He's got both Zelnaga watchtowers, and he has an Overlord just outside where the West Tower watches.
He also has slow links.
Dun-dun. So slow.
This is kind of silly because now I feel that he's going to be supply blocked and he can't fire up his new Immortal. Oh, he has a few more partners on the way. Either way, here comes the Warp Prism. Warp Prism is going to do a good job.
He's juking.
Oh, Queens are on the low ground. Oh, no. He's going to drop Queen towards. Here comes the Prism. Whoa, those Queens are in a good position. 1 Queen. I don't know if he wipes in like 7 Zealots now. Okay, he does have a lot of transfuse. He can actually attack that Warp Prism for days.
Yeah, this the Warp Prism's gonna back off.
This is Arthur.
As long as he keeps the force fields rolling, he should be okay. These sentries take a while to kill stuff, man.
Yeah, but
they take a while.
They do have plenty of force fields. 1 sentry is going to fall against these drones. Warp Prism is still working. Oh, Arthur is going to abandon. He's like, you know what? That was good enough for me. This wasn't the real attack. This isn't even my final form. My Gateways and Immortals is my final form. Yeah. Now XiGua goes into heavy roach production. He does have 58 drones out. It's remarkable that this game has gone up to a point where we have 58 drones. Actually, XiGua can crush this incoming push. He already is ahead in army supply.
He has the production and economy. Yeah. I guess that's the benefit of the 8-minute gas.
And Arthur is still on his side of the map, so it's going to take a little while. By the time that they fight... Well, this time at least Arthur is going to bring the Prism with his army, so he can actually pick up the Immortal, something he didn't do against Suppy. Very important. XiGua is going to see this, and he's already going to start flanking. His creep threat is good, though. It's going to be harder for Arthur. He's going to be real careful. We do see Burrow being researched as well. There is an observer on the map, though, because there is a robotics facility, of course.
Yeah, I like these roaches are really pulling him to the side, though. He's not,
He doesn't have to fight it, though, XiGua. XiGua really shouldn't fight. He just lost 5 roaches. I guess losing 5 roaches while you're buying time to let 13 roaches spawn is a good trade, but it just...
Yeah.
If he loses this 6 as well...
Oh, that's going to be a big loss. Oh, who put him right in the donut? There's no escape from this. That's like one of the things you always talk about when you look at like what can force fields, and you're like, yeah, just put them all in one little ring where none of them have any range to shoot.
Arthur has a ridiculous army supply for the 2-base Protoss. It's close to 100. That's very, very much. And he also has 3 Immortals in the mix. I'm actually very worried for XiGua.
Oh, Immortal gets caught in the back. He got
awesome,
jumped.
Yeah, that's an awesome little pickoff. That's a start.
Caravan needs to hold together, Roddy.
Maybe all the queens. How many queens do we have? We still have 5 queens. If the queens can kill the Prism, I believe as well, good force fields. 2 queens are going to fall immediately. A couple of roaches will be zoned out as well.
Arthur throws those force fields in, trying to hit from behind. Tons more Stalker Zealots. Sentries being warped in from that warp prism. A great reinforcement point, and it's far enough back the queens can't hit it. I'm not sure what he's even supposed to do at this point, because that hatchery helps block the pathing. The force fields can still hold everything away. He's actually moving closer to force field. More of those roaches in. There's the burrow, but we have an observer.
Yeah, we have an observer, and there are so many stalkers as well. More force fields going down. Roach speed wasn't ready yet. Even though Arthur is dancing his units, he's definitely not that sad right now, as he's going to pick up a couple of his units. XiGua is going to pull his drones. Dancing in game 1, Nate, could be a risky thing to do, but we'll see how it plans out.
Yeah, the dancing army of Arthur is blowing through these roaches, and GG is called out. He'll take game number 1 in our winners match here. Look at the Anchor Immortal. He always builds the Anchor Immortal.
Yeah, he even left one Immortal at home as well that was walled in, because I was like, there are 2 Immortals in his army, but I actually only see 1 that's fighting. So Arthur making that push happen with just a lot of gateway units and Immortals. Nate, I'm starting to have the feeling that Hydralisks are going to be pretty effective units against Arthur. Do you think it's possible to get Hydralisk outs when you play against Arthur?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, not just are Hydras good, but is it possible to actually get them before Arthur's attack hits? I imagine they'd be fine. That does not look like one of the situations where, despite how many roaches and zerglings he had through his economy, obviously his gas being so late means he's not going to have a fast layer either, but... I don't know. What's the second map is probably best way to find out if you can get Hydras.
We'll find it out soon. I actually don't know what our second map is going to be yet, but I just don't really understand the opening from XiGua. He destroyed his own economy by not even like doing anything wrong, because he was just producing so many units. But you know, like, I don't feel that Arthur did such a fantastic job in slowing XiGua down. Obviously, he was active and he moved out and he presented the 4-gate pressure, but in the end of the day, when a 4-gate pressure is going on, you shouldn't really be 12 to 14 workers behind as a Zerg player. Having 5-6 queens and then having all those slow links, it just took a very long time before XiGua truly started rolling, and I think in the end he lost a few too many units in the middle of the map as well. But I wouldn't go 3-hatch before Pooh against Arthur, because you know that he's gonna come for you. Like, Arthur is not Puck. Puck, you know, Puck scouts it, or some of the other Protoss players, they just scouted 1 gate, fast expand, build a lot of probes. You went 3-hatch before Pooh, that's fine. I go up to 3 Nexus and we'll take it from there. You know that Arthur will throw something at you. It's either 3 gates or it's 4 gates. It's +1. It could be Dark Templars. He hasn't even so far. You know, we talk often about like revealing your hand and revealing your playstyle. I don't think that Arthur has revealed a whole lot today, Nate. What has he revealed? That he can execute gateway attacks very well.
With an Immortal or 2.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that I thought was neat. He did wait a little while. Like, this was one of the first times we didn't see him throwing a ton of forces with his first attack. He didn't actually engage. He just stepped away, said, okay, I know you made a lot of slow lings, but even then, I guess he still killed a lot of the slow Zerglings. The clutch force fields on his sentry to lock... Like, you created some sort of weird space-time portal where that sentry was safe.
But that first push, that wasn't even as effective as I've seen it. You know, how often don't you see a bunch of queens die? You see a lot of Zerglings die. You see the hatchery taking a beating, maybe some drones being evacuated. In the end of the day, the only thing that Arthur just did that was drop some force fields. He even lost 2 sentries, I believe, in the process. That's normally not good. You don't want to lose sentries, especially not off creep against slow Zerglings. So I'm a little bit blown away by how easy he makes it all looks. But we'll see. Our second map is going to be played on Frost. I guess we could have played that guessing game and we would have probably both won. And we'll see how this one plays out for XiGua. If he goes 3 hatch before pool again, and if he does, if he actually is able to get a real economy going.
And is Arthur just going to open gateway into mega gateway attack is what I'd like to know. Are we going to... I mean, at this point... If it's going to be the crazy aggression, I'd just like to see something else as far as the aggression. I'd like to see Forge, but I guess I'm always kind of wishing for cannon rushes, so that's just a bit presumptuous of me. But we'll have to see. Both players seem ready to rock and roll. We're going to start counting down into game number 2 here of our winners match. If Arthur brings the gates out one more time and he wins, he'll go to the round of 16 for WCS America.
Yep, for the second time in a row. He made it just a couple of months ago when we played the final in Cologne. In 2013, he got close. He did qualify for Premier League once in the final season, but he was not able to make it to the round of 16. However, last season he was, and he went all the way to the round of 8. In the round of 8, he kind of got bopped, 0-3. But in the end, it was a really successful season for Arthur. It was by far the biggest payday out of his StarCraft 2 career. And of course, he wants to repeat that and maybe even go further than that. And he's only one map win away from qualifying for the round of 16. And well, that is impressive, no matter how you get there, Nate. And I know there are a lot of Terran players out there, there are a lot of Zerg players out there that are kind of shaking their head when they see a Protoss, you know, playing like this multiple games in a row and having the success that they do. But once again, if it was that easy, everyone would do it. And if it was that easy, you would be in GM. We all know that. Because we always say we don't want to be that guy, but hey, if it works, it works. We all want to be that guy.
I tried to use those builds of Protoss. It turns out not quite so easy. So whatever he's got, he's doing it right.
If I do this in Mid-Master League, I run into 15 speed roaches with Burrow and I have to evacuate my plants.
Yeah. What does that say?
Arthur is definitely doing something right. Either way, over here on the right top side of the map, we have a Chinese Zerg player representing Invictus Gaming. He's down 0-1. Can he bring it back and go for game 3? It is XiGua, also known as Watermelon.
Yep. Putting out some solid games today. His opponent in the southeast spawn of the map. Well, that Overlord is headed, building the gateway. From Team Spectre, it is Arthur. Taking his gas quite fast. So it's going to be a hatchery first out of XiGua. Not super surprising. And you know what? Actually, the probe is going to go straight to his base. I don't know if he really... Like, this probe scout confirms that there's no cheese coming. But he attacks fast. Just never really this fast we've seen.
Now, if I was XiGua, I'd be a little bit paranoid. Yeah, and he's also immediately... he's aware of the Korean meta. And also, of course, aware that it's Arthur. Something that, if you guys wonder what are we giggling about, new Protoss cannon rush, and he's faking it now as well, is to get one cannon over here, then you get another cannon over here, and then your probe is locked in, nothing can enter. You get a cannon over here, or you build it over here while your probe is over here, and then it even squeezes out. So that's a great new cannon rush that's becoming very popular on Frost. Of course, we know that Arthur is not going to cannon at all, as he opened up with the gateway first, but he's selling it, and XiGua is losing a little bit of mining time.
Yep. The Overlord will confirm pretty much everything that's going on inside of Arthur's base. Cybernetics core are going to complete relatively soon, and Arthur's just going to bank up some resources, probably throw down Nexus. Nothing too crazy going on just yet, but gas much earlier than we saw in the last game for our Zerg.
Yep, and I hope it works out for him. Of course, if you drop an extractor and you start mining 100 gas, it does slow your economy down a little bit. That is inevitable. You know, it would be much more economic to just go for another hatch and start squeezing out as many drones as possible. But if you are playing against Arthur, no matter how you look at it, you are going to be very paranoid as a Zerg player, and you will often overreact much rather than underreact, because these guys, they do their homework. And then even if you have that extra base, you're still worried about so many things. Scouting is harder. You might still miss something that's going out on the map. So I think opening up with speed when you play against someone as aggro happy as Arthur is, I think it's fine. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't really work out for
Oh.
Soppy, but I think a few things could have gone different.
He didn't see that probe. The Overlord might see it. Arthur's actually had not too much luck even in that first game with getting a pylon down early on.
Nope, that hasn't worked yet once throughout the entire day.
So close. He's right. He is right there. If only he had all health bars on, he could see it poking out.
You think? I don't think it works like that. See 2 additional gateways going down, and now we do see XiGua going up to 3 bases as well, so it's still 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Relatively quick. Of course, not as quick as it could be, but he does get speed in return for that. You know, Nate, if he just drops 5 gates, if Arthur drops 5 gates again and he wins again, I'm gonna 8 gate for the rest of this month. And the month has just started. Yeah.
All right. There you go, guys. Now y'all know what strategy Kevin's going to use, because I'm not going to be surprised at all when a bunch more gates get added. At least he'll have Zergling speed. I mean, I guess he had that for the big attack last game.
Yeah, but at least Zergling speed is not just for the fight, it's also for delaying the fight, especially because R2 often relies on pylons much rather than warp prisms to reinforce. So if you're able to just swing around with those Zerglings and slow the attack down, maybe pick off a sentry or an immortal that's a little exposed. Very quick Roach one, by the way, 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Once again, you know, you'd rather be safe than sorry when you're playing against Arthur. It's unbelievable that this probe is still not gone.
Hey, Arthur took all his gas before adding on 7 gateways. I'm impressed.
Well, he might just go 8 gates with a lot of sentries, because he does like to rely on force fields.
You think he wants this Overlord to see? He's like, look, I don't have gateways this time. It's
This is all okay. I like what's going on over here very much, because this Overlord has not seen the robotics facility yet. He does it if it's an immortal sentry or lane wall, so be it. But he hasn't seen a robo yet. So even if 5 more gates go down now, at least he will have Burrow to work with, and I love seeing that, Nate. The layer is late though, but you know, I much rather have slow roaches with Burrow than speed halfway down and no Burrow.
Here we go, Kev. Raise your gates.
Please don't let this be a thing in Twitch chat. Raise your gates.
Layer's on the way as well, so he's going to try to get some tech, but I don't know if that tech's going to be a part of this game, Kev. So many gateways. I want a gateway. How many gateways has Arthur built in all his games in this group of WCS America? Put that on the hashtag.
8 a game at least. 8 is my lucky number as well. This pylon, and this is actually so brilliant, because like if you don't have a robotics facility, once again, you rely on pylons going up. So speedlings normally are fantastic in trying to slow this little push down. It would be so nice for XiGua if he finds this pylon. This really could be an absolute game changer. He's gonna take control of this. No, he already has control of the Zelnag Watchtower. At least, you know, if those roaches start working on these sentries, that's something. Because even if he drops so many force fields, okay, now these roaches are gonna see, and if 5 more stalkers are being warped in, well, Burrow is ready, and that is fantastic, Nate. That is something that I really thought Soppy needed, and I think that could have changed the outcome of Soppy's game. I also think XiGua is doing a really good job in slowing this attack down. Take it away.
He's going to try to go from both sides. There's some force fields. He's holding the roaches in position. And, oh, there's the Burrow. So can't really attack those. Zerglings and roaches are going to come and try to flank. And the best part is he's got an auto flank built in because of that previous pack of burrowed roaches. And he's going to hit him from the 3rd base position, coming in from behind as well. There's another time warp. He's got the surround with the Zerglings on the top side. Force fields hold the roaches at bay on the right and the south. And well,
good Burrow play so far. Excellent Burrow play. Not a whole lot of roaches have fallen yet. There we go. On Burrow, he's going to pick off a few more of these sentries. He's going to Burrow again, and he can do this for days. But it's not over yet, because you know, all these stalkers are still crazy. But normally a Zerg player as good as XiGua should be able to handle it from this point on.
Yeah, he's sending the Zealot straight to that 3rd base. He's waiting for the roaches to unburrow. Unburrows, trying to get to a sentry or 2. Another Zealot warping comes in, kills just a Stalker, maybe 2 or 3, but he's actually been holding the Queens around with the Zealots. Good transfuse, he's keeping them alive, and I think if XiGua was going to do it, he's done it this game so far pretty damn well, too.
Hell yeah, the power of Burrow when you play against no robotics facility strategies. These sentries are going to fall, and this was an absolutely decisive victory. He is returning the favor as these roaches are spinning around.
Take that.
Revenge is a dish best served cold or something like that.
Best served burrowed. He's building the forge too. The first forge of our series.
Yeah, this is just the moment where R2's macro game starts. He's like,
You've survived round 1.
So we have a game. Hydralisk then is being morphed in as well. Of course, our Zerg is going to try to counter, and this might actually just kill our Protoss, Nate. Even though he's actually, no, those are pylons. If the robotics facility gets picked off, then this is absolutely game over, because he's getting an Immortal. That means still no Burrow. And other than the Immortal, there's no DPS to deal with 70 army supply of Roach.
No. Not at all. He starts a warp prism. I mean, he didn't have enough gas to actually build anything else, so he's like, okay, can I get anything out of this?
Yeah, well, when behind, you know, people say Dark Shrine, Archer says force field on the ramp.
Well, now there's going to be the ultimate, his Achilles heel,
Yeah.
Hydralisks on the production tab.
And Archer is going to sit behind his screen. Ah, the Hydralisk. Now that's a unit I haven't seen in a long time. I love how he's doing this. He's also getting one Immortal. That's actually really smart, because if there wouldn't have been Hydralisk, then this one Immortal is going to shoot roaches, and then Zealots can be warped in to deal with the Zerglings, and then Sentries can actually renew the force fields. However, Hydralisks are a unit that Arthur hasn't seen in a while. And
he just flies right in.
He's going to see them now, and he's like, oh,
well,
does that mean I need to drop a Robo Bay?
It's like, what's that build?
Elfie would drop the Robo Bay.
Oh man, this game. He did get an observer at some point, did he? No. Oh my God, he wants to take a third base. That feel. Well, he's got to wait for his next.
What makes you say that he wants to take a third base?
He put a probe near it.
Yeah, it's a fake.
Why would I have expected anything else? You've bested me in a game of wits.
55 army supply for our Protoss against 119 for our Chinese Zerg player, who's also getting +1 missile attacks. Hydra speed is on the way. Group Spines is already researched. These Hydras, Nate, are gonna have the time of their life. They'll probably start dancing once more. XiGua is setting up the flank. There are a lot of force fields available, but there are more Zerg units available. Even though this was a really effective first engagement for
That was
Archer.
actually pretty nice, but now the Hydras are here. More force fields are going to hold the Roaches away from them, but look how fast those Zealots die. There's 3 Immortals alive, but can they kill infinite Hydras? I'm not quite sure. Immortals are good, but I don't know if they're that good, Roddy.
Time Warp is going down. As you said, they are pretty good, but they're not super good against the Hydralisk. Even though so far this has been excellent execution by Arthur, but he just doesn't have enough. It's a numbers game. There are still so many Hydralisk. Well, now he might actually lose the fight, though, because he's losing a lot of potential DPS there. XiGua is probably going to lose the fight because of that dance.
Oh, well, more Zerglings streaming. He's still got the damage on the... Oh, picking up in the Warp Prism. He's trying to use some fancy footwork. Warp Prism is picked off. More Zealots are warped in, and the last of the Immortals are killed. Another one just going to run out. He says, I'm here to end this. But he's going to die too.
No! One Zealot warp in a tiny bit quicker, and those 3 Immortals actually survive. Then I still like XiGua's position, don't get me wrong.
Maybe he should have danced twice.
Yeah. No. I think the first dance was enough. GG is called, and XiGua will even up the series. We're all tied 1. And we're going to game number 3 to decide who is going to be the first player to make it out of Group H here at WCS America round of 16. Excellent play by XiGua, and you know, I said it earlier today, Nate, and I'm not trying to sound like the guy who's always right, but I think Burrow is just so fantastic. When you play against these straight up gates attack, whether it's 7 gate +1 or a straight up 8 gate, Burrow is the answer to all your problems. The Lord and Savior.
Burrow is the answer. There you have it, guys. So great use of that, and also just good macro. Great play overall for XiGua to try to reel this series back in, and that does mean we're going to have to play a third and final map. I don't actually know what the map is yet, but...
I don't know what the map is either, but it could very well be Overgrowth. I'd be surprised to see Way Station. I'd be surprised to see Merry-Go-Round. Merry-Go-Round, I think, is a map that's perfect for... it's actually going to be Habitation Station. Now, you're playing a dangerous game, XiGua, when you're going up on Habitation Station against a player like Arthur, because I do not think that Arthur is going to play standard over here. I'm expecting a 1-gate fast expand at the gold and another gateway attack, or an Immortal Sentry or something like that.
Yeah, or just another 8-gate, because why not? So, anything, I would say anything is possible, but in this situation, I'm fairly certain there's only 1 or 2 things that are probably probably
I think Arthur is definitely the type of Protoss player that will utilize this map for its strengths and will definitely try to go for the gold base. He has done this multiple times in the past. Both of our players are ready. I'm ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and fire up our deciding game in Group H to determine who's going to be the first player to advance to the round of 16. After this map, Nate, we'll know 15 out of our 16 players. Are you feeling the hype yet?
Oh, I'm feeling the hype. I'm ready for some great gateway action potentially to come up in the round of 16 with all those juicy Zergs waiting. Yeah. But I know you'd love another Protoss. We've been hurting for him in WCS America.
That is true, though. So far, only 3 Protoss players out of the 14 Protoss players. Out of the 14 players that have qualified for round 16, only 3 play Protoss. So having one more Protoss advance would definitely be nice.
Arthur's the Protoss you want?
I take any Protoss, and you know, I take everyone, Nate. It doesn't really matter to me who advances. I just want to see some good StarCraft and hopefully a lot of exciting games. Of course, I do kind of secretly hope that Soppy makes it, just because it's always nice to have a local hero here as well. But other than that, Nate, I'm fair game. I think XiGua is awesome. The IG guys are awesome, and Arthur is obviously a cool guy as well, and he definitely makes me laugh in a good way. I enjoy his games. And here we go, see the first Pro.
Oh, snap. The first time, Arthur. Our red Protoss has decided to put a pylon in the bottom right, of course. He is Arthur from Team Spectre. And he's built a lot of gateways in today's games. And this time, he might build a forge before Burrow is researched.
You are right, Nate. Of course, over here on the left top side of the map, we have a Chinese Zerg player, XiGua. The last hope of Invictus Gaming. It's cool, you know, Nate. It doesn't really matter who is going to make it to the round 16 because they all represent their own story. This is the hope of... now, we do have one Chinese. Tutming made it, correct?
Yeah.
And did Courage make it as... No, Courage didn't make it. Because it was Major making it.
Major.
Yeah. So Tutming is our only Chinese player actually so far to make it to the round of 16. But XiGua could very well be our second one representing Invictus Gaming. But you are right, Nate. This is going to be Pylon on the low ground, and this is a forge. So for the first time today, Arthur has decided to switch it up. He's like, you know what? Maybe I should do something else. And this is a good scenario already. He's going to face an hatch first over here. Where is this probe going though? Okay, probe is just checking the gold. And this time, I hope that XiGua doesn't think like, it's probably a fake again like last time. Because it's not. And immediately we do see him pulling the drones. That is good news, as this Overlord is going to soon confirm that there is a forge going down on the low ground. Arthur is still going to try to make this happen, I promise you. And this spawning pool could... are we going to see pylons? No, is it just going to expand? Really? I don't believe it.
Oh, there's a pylon. Here we go. Here we go, Kev.
All praise Wiedemans, the triangle of pylons.
It's great.
This reminds me of the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. It's like they have this little building.
That's what 3 pylons remind you of.
No, there is this building in Bruce, I believe, or either way, it doesn't matter. That represents the relationship between all 3 countries. Either way, this is going to be a very tough hatchery. I love that Arthur is even tricking us, that he sends the probe to the low ground. The Overlord probably sees the probe, he's like, he's just going to expand. And I guess Arthur will cancel one out of the 2 pylons, cannons now. Alrighty, well, so far good news for Arthur, I guess.
He's got another probe heading to the goal. He's got a Nexus on the way.
He probably has a good way to cannon this one as well. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, if you're Arthur, I'm sure he's got like...
Arthur has a guide. If Arthur starts writing guides, I start reading them, Nate, because I want to know. I believe Arthur is the only guy in the world that could teach Galzi and Wiedemans about cannon rushing. You guys may have done this 10,000 games, but I do this in WCS.
Yeah, man. Get the High Council. Add on Wanna Be Cool. Get Bubbles in there. Get everybody.
Yeah. And everyone just listens to the overmind of Arthur. These Zerglings are working on that pylon though, and of course, all jokes aside, if this, I don't think that this is going to be good enough for Arthur. He's going to need more than just one cannon to actually force XiGua to cancel this base. So I think that this is good news for our Chinese Zerg. He's going to be able to keep this hatchery alive. I think this will even get cancelled. So this is good though. This was a waste of resources for Arthur. And XiGua has been able to successfully deny this. He's going to transfer a lot of workers as well. He's like, you want to cancel my natural? That's fine. I'll just take the gold and mine way more money.
Yeah. More money for him, and he's going to go for his natural now. Starts to hatch. He's got Lings, he's got a Queen, and this should be able to clean up this photon cannon without too much trouble, and those 2 pylons as well. So
So now I think it's safe to say that Arthur is going to go for a 2-base attack. And you could say that normally it's already quite safe to say, but Arthur is not the type of Protoss that's like, you know what, you took the gold, you're mining off the gold, and you're also taking your natural. Let's drop a Stargate and play a macro, or let me drop 2 more gateways and go up to 3 bases. He's definitely the type of Protoss player that gets a little nervous when Zerg players earn this much money. So he's going to try to do something about it.
Makes a lot of sense, Roddy. Makes a lot of sense. Cybernetics core halfway done as the Zerglings finish nibbling on the last pylon over there. He's going to take 2 gas as well in his main base.
But where is Arthur going to take this, though?
I mean, just
the cyber core is late. I think it's going to be an Immortal Sentry. I think it's going to drop the robotics facility as soon as the cyber core finishes up. If he doesn't, I'll be a tiny bit surprised.
No, there it is.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense to me.
Wow, much impressed. What is he going to do with that robotics facility, Roddy?
2 to 3 Immortals, Observer, Prism.
Is he doing this because his warp gate's really late? Compared to the other games?
I mean, he's doing this for many reasons. In the last game, his warp gate attack already didn't work. XiGua handled it very well. Researching Burrow is definitely an answer. This time it would hit even later, and also the Zerg would be even richer because of this gold base. So it's just very, very unlikely that the strat is going to work in a worse scenario than the last game was in, or a worse stage of the game. So going for an Immortal Sentry is always solid, because hey, you know, in the end of the day, it's Immortal Sentry. It's always good. Even when it's not good, it's still pretty good. It's basically like pizza.
Well, I don't know. You had a really, really bad pizza before. He's got an Observer on the way.
Okay.
And I think the Observer, before anything else, is the most macro-oriented we've seen Arthur play
No,
in this series.
No, actually, I don't think it's going to be macro. I think he's going to add a few more gates. Right now he's on 4 gates. I think he's going to add 3 or 4 more. And then it's just going to be 8 gate with a Warp Prism. And then he's going to use the Warp Prism for reinforcements. And the Observer... No, now he's firing up an Immortal. Okay, you're confusing the hell out of me, Arthur. Why would you get the Observer first if you want to rely on Immortals? It doesn't make any sense. But we do see him once more going up to 8 gates. You know, I thought I liked the number 8, but I think Arthur, I swear to God, he's born on 8 minutes past 8 p.m. on the 8th of the 8th month of the year in 988. Something like that.
Yeah. August 8th, 88.
Yeah, August 8th, 88 at 8:08 p.m. Can someone confirm this? Production crew?
Let's get that birth certificate. We need to confirm this. Hydralist Den's going to complete, though. So this time there will be Hydras to actually fight against the initial push, which I always like to see. With the Zerglings, it's nice as well. But also, because of the way that he opened, he's actually going to have an upgrade. He's going to have his first upgrade that he's gotten in the whole day.
Yeah, but +1 not extremely effective.
Well, versus the Lings at the Zealots?
A tiny bit, but in the end the Hydralisks are more important. And of course, you know, you could say when the Zerglings die, it's easier to reach the Hydralisk. So yes, it does help a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's not like he's playing against Zergling owning, where it's an absolute game changer. By the way, guys, he's actually born on the 17th of April 1993, so we were a couple of years off in a couple of months. But hey, if you split 8 by 2, it's 4, and August is basically April times 2.
Yeah, and if you subtract 1, then you've got 3. So
yeah, and he's the only. Yeah, let's stop.
And there's 3 Zergs in this group.
Those are some ESPN statistics over there. It's really funny.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
They have the best statistics ever when you watch NBA. Either way, really important push over here for Arthur. He's going to try to make this work. He's only down 23 army supply, but there are a lot of Zerg units on the production tab. Spine crawlers are definitely going to help. There are 2 Immortals in the mix, so you know that's nice. But Arthur has dropped some magnificent force fields, so all jokes aside, he is pretty damn good. He's on the money in general when it comes to force fields. This is quite a wide open area. It all comes down to execution. Right now it looks good on XiGua's. Oh, is this a Warp Prism? Yes, it is.
Aw, snap. 4 Zealots in the main base, going to town. The Zerglings are coming up. That +1 all of a sudden helping out quite a bit with this harass. And this is quite nice. Look at that
great
choke
positioning.
Point. He's not killing these Zealots that fast at all.
The only thing that's killing those Zealots is the Queen.
And the Warp Prism's going to hit the gold base now as he pushes the front. There's a time warp. He's throwing the force fields, cutting this army. And
those
it's
are
Spine
good
Crawler.
force fields, Nate.
Very isolated is this Zerg army. Arthur pushing up. The Warp Prism was taken out at that gold base, so this is really his only standing army.
I mean, the force fields are going to have to be absolutely impeccable. He just lost 2 sentries. That is really painful. There is very little DPS in this army of Arthur that can actually kill these Hydralisks before he loses units on its own.
Those transfuses. The Spine Crawler will not die. Arthur finally kills it, but those Hydras have been going to town. The force fields go a little bit loose. Couple more units slip in through the left side. He targets the Immortal. It's down. It's just gateway units now for Arthur. And XiGua, has he done it? Our Zerg player swarming over. Arthur wants to go on, and he shall dance in the Hydras at the very end of that game.
GG is called, and we have our second Chinese Zerg player qualifying for WCS America round of 16, and our first player representing Invictus Gaming. So that's great news for the IG guys. They have been part of WCS America since Season 2, the first time they tried in 2013, and that tradition will stay alive. Congratulations to XiGua, and of course to Edison as well from IG. I think he played an excellent series, Nate. In the first game, he was caught off guard a little bit, but game 2, he was really on the money with the burrow research and also excellent burrow micro. And a few in game 3 didn't underreact against the cannons. The first cannons did go up, but it's most important that he was able to get that second hatchery up at the gold base. And from that point on, you could see how cautious he was with every single thing. Army positioning extremely important, because Arthur is the type of Protoss that if he sees an opportunity, he is going to jump on it. But I think XiGua handled it very well.
Yeah, very well played by XiGua. Cool to see. If you're one of those Zerg players like, man, I get 8-gated all day, every day, well, there you go. Burrow's not bad, and Hydralisks do pretty well as well. So, great games by XiGua. He's going to advance to the round of 16. As you mentioned, Arthur falls to play against our American hero, DAE Suppy, Roddy.
And you know what's cool as well, Nate? Like, something that has definitely been a trend in WCS America is that it's often the foreign hope. You know, in this case, that would have been Suppy winning the first series of the day against his Korean, and everyone is like, yeah, hashtag sick hype. But then in the end, they play against each other again in the deciders match, and then the Korean player wins that series, and then in the end, it's still the Korean advancing, and the foreigner finishes third. Now Suppy will have his chance to redeem himself, to get his revenge on Arthur. I definitely think that Suppy has been watching this best of 3. That should have helped him quite a bit. If he didn't know enough yet about Arthur, I think this could have helped him even more. Do you believe in a thing called Suppy?
I believe in a thing called Suppy, Roddy. I believe he's got a chance. Suppy could definitely do it, guys, and we're going to find out after this short commercial break who is going to go on and who goes home.